Yo, Linda. It's Jodi. Boy. I gotta take a little break here. First of all, I gotta organize this a little bit so you can see a little bit. Right now you're sitting in a food container on the dash of the car, but I wanted it to be a little bit different. It's always quite a challenge, you know, technology, setting up the exact perfect situation, and that's kind of the problem with life too. Yeah. I think I got it. Okay, there. And because you guys think I'm so damn unconventional, I'm just gonna go for it, because I am. Sorry, I gotta lift up my dress and pull down my pajamas. We do keep this, try to keep this Land Tranquil Light YouTube channel very family friendly, but I need to pee, and I thought, why be all, you know, secretive about the fact that I pee, because everybody I know pees. I think, anyway. I've never heard of anyone that I do know not peeing. I've heard of people that I don't know not peeing, but that was more like this dude had, and I hope nobody knows this dude, because I would never ever want to be disrespectful of this dude, but I had I heard of this dude who had to take all of his innards out, and that he had no innards, like his whole digestive tract, it was all wonky. So they took it out of his body and tried to rebuild a whole new digestive tract, but he like had to go 3 months at least between like these surgeries and stuff to have his digestive tract taken completely outside of his body. I think it was still attached, but while they replaced it. And I thought, oh my goodness, that sounds just terrifying to say the least, and not something I want to personally go through. But thankfully, I haven't, at least yet so far in this lifetime. And right now, I'm peeing, but not quite. I'm under some pressure here. It's always harder to pee when you're under pressure. It's harder to do a lot of things when you're under pressure, but you know what? It always works out. That's one of the cool things I've noticed about life, is that it always works out. Okay, some people end up dead. That's true. Some people end up, you know, being hungry and homeless, and you know, it doesn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it to, but it always turns out. And even when you're the one in the coffin, it's all turned out okay, right? I mean, come on. And I can say for my own life, I'm more thankful for my situation than I am for a whole lot of other people's. It's working. Here I am at the SFCC parking lot on a Sunday. Sorry, this is difficult. I've got to concentrate for a second here. I don't like having pee in my bladder. I'm probably not alone in that. Come on. Come on. Well, I've been thinking a lot about your email, which was a response to my email. Sorry, got to throw this out. Can't have this in the car because I've spilled this kind of stuff. My husband and I, and it's not pleasant, we'll put it like that, so I got to dump it out here in the trees. Anyway, I don't know how long this little clip's gonna be for you. Gotta lock the door, there's crazy people out there. We all know that. So anyway, I just thought, well, you guys think I'm so unconventional, as if that's a sin, or eccentric maybe is another way to put it. And I thought, well, yeah, I am. In fact, if you don't think I'm unconventional, wow, are you missing something? But then I got to thinking about your email, and I'm like, that email is first of all, I was really offended by that thing. It's like, what? A chair or a board member who's been on this board for a really long time. I don't know numbers. I don't try to fuck with numbers. Oops. I don't want to say the F word because you guys get all freaked out by language. You guys will be saying, oh, she's talking like Donald Trump. Well, I do talk a little bit like Donald Trump, but I have the exact opposite politics as Donald Trump, so maybe we need somebody like me on this side, on the good side. But anyway, you guys do all this stuff up there, making decisions about the students. You're making decisions about the finances. You're making decisions about who works here and who doesn't. You're making decisions about who can be on this campus and who can't. So, I thought, why is she writing back to me in such a glib, childish way? Unprofessional is like, I find that very insulting that you're so unprofessional. So, I directly reported you to Javier Gonzalez, the new mayor. And I haven't been able to access my email account out here. I'm sitting out here taking a little sauna while my husband's in a screenwriting class. And I thought, well, my goodness, if I'm going to be doing a sauna, I'm going to do it right. And I'm going to put some of this stuff on my face. This is my daughter's. I took it from her bathroom and I didn't tell her. And then I just kept carrying it around with me because I love this stuff so much. It's this Freeman Feeling Beautiful Dead Sea Minerals anti-stress mask. And when I was at her house for a couple weeks living there a couple weeks ago, I was under a lot of stress. So I kind of just like took this and started carrying it around. And I thought, while I'm out here doing my little sunroom sauna, I should also put this mask on and maybe anti-stress a little bit and maybe do some exfoliating in the process. But what I love about it is how cool it looks. Look at this. Wow, man, it's pretty. I mean, I think I might wear this into the school. I haven't decided yet. I may wash it off because it kind of makes it where your face cracks if you move your lips. But see, here's what I was thinking. I thought all night about that email. I was really angry over that email. I was like, how dare somebody at the top of this university respond so disrespectfully to a student who's making a serious complaint against her and everybody else up at the top. Like, criminal violations are occurring on this school. And then I'm like, Well, first of all, I may have underestimated your intelligence and said, well, she's not very intelligent to respond back like that because she just doesn't look professional. And then I'm like, what is she responding like? And I thought about it all night long, and I thought, well, I keep telling these dudes they don't have a damn sense of humor. And maybe she's trying to respond with a little sense of humor. And maybe she's trying to make me the butt of the joke. Well, I always make me the butt of the joke. I'm the best butt of the joke there is out there. So I thought, why not run with it? And the real thing I was thinking is, what she's writing like with blue letters, and I don't even know if it's accurate grammar or spacing or usage of punctuation, which it's only two words and a comma, and it says, her again? Then there's a space, if I remember right, and a question mark. Yeah, you got to move that question mark right up to the end of the sentence. You don't have a space between there. I'm an English teacher. That shit bugs me. But on the other hand, I thought, well, maybe that's how a child would write. Maybe she's like really doing that, you know, like she's really trying to communicate from a space of where a child would communicate to another child. And it's funny because I've called up President Randy and talked to him about it, well, talked to his voicemail machine about it and said, President Randy, all I am is a little girl out there fighting a whole lot of bullies out on the playground. And I thought, wow, this is a cool way to do this, man. We can meet out here on the freaking playground and we can have it out, man. And when I say shit like that, you guys all go, ooh, oh, she's threatening violence. I've been on this campus for 6 years. If I wanted to get violent, I would have done it 6 years ago. Or somewhere in between. I'm not threatening violence. I want to freaking talk to you people. I want you guys to hear me. You guys are just like, kind of acting dumb, really. Like, what kind of people don't listen to an outspoken, highly educated, articulate, and very adamant student like myself? They're like setting up a situation where they're never going to win. They're never going to win. The only way that you guys can win is to listen to me. And so I'm going to the great length of performing for you. But guess what? I am a multi-talented creative. But as part of that, I am a performer. I perform in my own plays. I can perform in my own screenplays. I've been an actor in my own films, in my husband's short films. And I'm excellent at it. In fact, Leslie Dillon, one of the acting teacher that I had a class with, she probably doesn't like me too much, but I think she would agree that I am a great performer. And by the way, she's a great director. But anyway, sorry, I've got plastic down here on the floorboard and it's bugging me. There's a plastic bag at night. Since we sleep in our car, we put these plastic bags down at the bottom because my baby especially cannot handle the detritus under his feet. For him, it's like, oh, there's detritus under my feet. There's dreck under my feet. So I'm like, here, let's put these plastic bags down. And now they're bugging me, getting all tangled in my feet. But here's the deal when it comes to performance, and this is something most performers don't understand, but the great performers do understand. A performance is not a performance at all. It is an expression of an aspect of that person's character or an aspect of that person's personality that is genuine, and it's being expressed genuinely. In other words, I'm not performing, I'm being, like Leslie Dillon pointed out. It's not a performance, it's being. I am being this child out here on the playground. And it reminds me of this story. It's like when I was in 6th grade, I grew up in western Kansas. In western Kansas, Garden City, Kansas to be exact. Here's the deal. Western Kansas is a flat horizon. And it's a flat horizon as far as you can see in any direction. And that, for me, that flat horizon for me was a canvas, an empty canvas for my mind, for my imagination, and believe me, I needed it. I had a rough life, and I had to find a way to escape it, and I did it through my imagination, and through expressing these various aspects of who I am in a loving environment. That loving environment was the tree that I would climb, and I would look out over the cornfields and wheat fields, over the cows and the distant farmhouses. And a lot of that landscape has changed, of course, since I've been 20 and a little bit older, you know, in my early 20s, and so, you know, it's changed a lot, but that is the landscape of my childhood. And I would climb up in that tree, and the person I identify with up in that tree is being 12 years old. And lately, that 12-year-old has needed to come out and have her say. And in this deal, she's going to talk, because I'm going to let her. That's who I am. And one of the things she wants to say is, you guys are a bunch of bullies, and nobody likes a bully. And I am that one person, that one little kid on the playground who everyone is terrified of, who comes out and faces the bullies down. You guys are Goliath, and I'm David. You guys are all the Orakai, and I'm Frodo. I don't have it, well, I guess I look a little bit like Princess Leia today, my husband said, but, you know, I'm the superhero in this deal. So, you guys are already on the wrong side. But nobody likes to hear you're the villain, you're the bad guy. Even if they are, and especially if they are. So here's some of my concerns. You guys can hide money and shove it around in the budget this way and that, and auditors can come in and look at where the money is and then say, oh no, we give our stamp of approval that the money is perfect. Okay, I have a couple obvious questions about that. Then why are we $5 million in debt? That's one question. And the next one is, why are certain instructors appearing to be benefiting financially from the resources at the college? Not their jobs. They should get paid for their jobs. But I have been told in private little back bedrooms, in that case, that there are certain instructors in the film department who are getting kickbacks straight up, okay? Now, it may not be true, it may be true, and maybe I misinterpreted everything I heard, but it kept being repeated and repeated and repeated to the point that I was no longer interested in spending time with this person who kept telling me this, and I warned that person, if you keep telling me this stuff, I'm gonna have to bring it up. In the meantime, I was getting a lot of complaints from other students. I walked into a hallway once, and one of the film students was crying about the way that they were being treated in the classroom. And then later, I ran into the same person who was crying about the way that they were being treated in the classroom, and I said, I got your back. I'll back you up if you want to make a complaint. So I did bring that complaint forward, and you know, a lot of other students have complained. Do I represent the majority of students on campus? Yes, I do. But I'm probably bringing forward somewhat of a minority of complaints. Because if these issues are affecting even 3 students, even 1 student, it's affecting all of the students. They may not even know enough to come forward and talk about it. They may not even feel safe enough to come forward and talk about it. And almost every single student that I've talked to about these serious complaints have said, don't name me, don't name me, I don't want to be named, they'll retaliate against me. And I'm like, dudes, if y'all stand up with me, they're not going to be able to retaliate against us. And they're like, no, I'm too scared, I want this, my degree, I want to go to school, I want to keep my nose clean. I'm like, okay, I'll do it for you, and I'll keep you anonymous. Although Jill Douglas asked me point blank to give the names of the students, and I said, absolutely not. I will not do it. You guys are already retaliating against me. I'm not going to let that happen to these other students that I'm here to protect. So what started happening at this school? First of all, me and my husband were being refused camera equipment, and other students too who complained to me about that, in the cage, based on what we felt was personal relationships and likes and dislikes, and whoever kisses somebody's butt the best, or even like literally kisses somebody's butt. And I said, I don't care about what relationship you have with whomever. We're all adults on this campus. We can be in relationships with anybody, but it shouldn't be determining the ways that the policies and procedures are being implemented. Okay? No brainer. No brainer. In other words, let students have access to the damn equipment that they're paying for. And I'm hearing that these teachers are withholding the best equipment for themselves to use. Okay? And that the students are having to use crappy stuff. And we were lugging around all these heavy cameras when we were allowed to use them. And quite frankly, they were so problematic with us at the cage. We were homeless and having to protect this big case of a bad camera that we went ahead and spent our student loans on our own equipment, and we've got it now. We don't have to deal with the cage. But I can guarantee you that every time we have, they've given us shit big time. And I was told that people working in the cage at that time, which this is going on for a couple years now, man, that the employees were being harassed. And I don't know. I don't work in the cage. I don't go in the cage. I can't stand being around that. So, but if somebody cared about it enough to tell me, then I'd think it'd be taken seriously. Whenever I did bring a complaint to, excuse me, I've got a bad cold, but It comes from living in your car in freezing ass cold weather. But anyway, and smoking a bunch of cigarettes. And so what I decided is I'm going to even smoke more. Get myself tough. I got to be tough to fight these battles, man. You guys will go to any length, man. You guys play dirty. But you guys don't know one thing. I win every single time. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, I bow to your Buddha natures in gratitude. I'm always going to win. Because anybody who stands up for justice and stands up for right has already won. You can't do nothing to stop that. I've already stood up for justice. And I'm getting a few people paying attention to me. You can see why. I was a middle child, you know, isn't it obvious? It's like, oh, they're not going to pay attention to me if I'm nice and quiet and okay, I'll start making noise. And I'll start bouncing off the walls, singing songs and reciting poems and writing plays really loudly. But in this case, I'm going to start talking to all sorts of people really loudly about these situations. So I went to Monique Nair's office, and I've repeated this story so many damn times. I went to her office and I said, Monique, I just left a high-up administrator's office in which I iterated and reiterated the complaints I've made against you and other teachers in your department. And she got so excited, she started yelling at me, telling me to get out of her office. Of course, I bowed to her Buddha nature and all that stuff. She said she was going to call an administrator, and I said, well, don't call Jill Douglas, call Margaret Peters, because Jill Douglas is out of town right now. And she's like, I'm going to call security. And I said, okay, go ahead. And it's like, I knew that I'd done nothing wrong. And so I stood outside of her office and I said, I bow to your Buddha nature, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I will always stand up for the students and the disenfranchised of this world. That is something I'm always going to do. And Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, I bow to your Buddha nature. I'm practically quoting it literally word for word. And what it ended up being is, I'm trying to bring the film department down. I'm dangerous. I'm blah, blah, blah. They don't need me to bring the film department down. Their stupid decisions are doing that adequately enough without my help. Okay, I'm trying to help. I've attended 6 colleges or universities. Okay, I have 4 degrees, including an MFA degree. I tell you guys this over and over and over because you guys only listen to that kind of shit. It's meaningless, it's worthless, but you guys hold it of very high value. And I hold it of high value in a specific way. But I have a Master's of Fine Arts degree that I received from Wichita State University's writing program in creative writing, poetry. I received it with distinction and high pass. That means there's no higher way you can get that degree. I also have my bachelor's degree from the same school in English language literature. And I got that one with summa cum laude and Emory Lindquist honors in English. And I was in every honor society out there. I was a representative in the English Graduate Student Association. And then I became the president of the same association. I have been a part of even Mortar Board Honor Society, one of the top, if not the top, honor society that I've ever heard of. And I've received many scholarships. I've gone to many conferences. I'm a published author. I've won many awards. And I'm not saying that I'm the next Cormac McCarthy. Maybe I will be, but I'm not saying that I've done it yet. But what I'm trying to say is I'm really, really good at what I do. What I'm good at, I'm really, really good at. And one of the things I'm really, really good at is fighting for justice. Because I have this one little ace up my sleeve that nobody else has. I am willing to die for what I believe in. Now you're going to go like, oh, she's going to come in and kill us. Oh, she's got an Uzi in the back seat. No, here, what do I have in the back seat?
Oh, hello. My name is,
what is your name?
My name is, we've never met, no, you've never named me.
How about, Brady?
Ooh, I like singing Brady. You see my braids?
So, that is my weapon. My weapon is that I have no weapon at all. I don't believe in weapons. I hate guns. I'm opposed to them. I'm actually opposed to the Second Amendment. You can't find anyone more radically opposed to guns than I am. I am anti-nukes. I had an opportunity here to apply for a scholarship and get a couple $1,000 from the Los Alamos facility, and I said, absolutely no way will I apply for that. I'm not going to gain money off of the suffering of others. And probably I am, but probably all of our money comes through that, but not directly. So I said no to that. I have some moral values and I abide by them. So I'm not threatening violence. What I'm threatening is something spiritual. And the spiritual aspect is already obvious. The spiritual side is you're harming the college when you don't listen to students, when you go against laws like my freedom of speech. If I speak, and my protection against retaliation from making complaints, come on, I know they're doing it at the topest, highest level in the government, but that doesn't mean you should be practicing it. That should be all the more reason not to. I don't know what Dr. Gonzalez did, Dr. Guzman did to piss you guys off, but I heard she was firing people aggressively, that she was very concerned about the finances in this school. Maybe she stepped on you guys' toes a little bit too much and you dragged her out of there and you ended up costing the school $500,000 of $500,000. I'm not good with money and I'm not good with numbers, but I know that $500,000 might come in handy for me and any other student who might take you guys to court for the crap you're doing. So I need you guys to listen. For your sakes, because they could drag your butts away to prison for this stuff. If they find you, if somebody comes along and has the courage to name you as the ones behind all this stuff, then you're in trouble. So your glib little responses are going to make you look really, really bad in the end. So that's why I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help President Randy, and I'll tell you this, if you even remotely think that you can go up and try to drag President Randy, my friend, off this campus, then you're going to have to get through me first. Oh, that sounds like violence. No, it means I'm going to raise my voice, okay? I'm going to raise my voice. My God-given right and my federally protected right and my institutionally protected right to speak. And it's going to make some people mad, and you're not going to get away with that. Even President Randy's under a whole hell of a lot of pressure right now to choose between me and you. And I'll tell you this much. If he's smart, he's going to choose to be on my side. Because I'm going to win. How am I going to win? Simply this. I'm going to change your hearts. There was this girl on playground when I was she was in 5th grade. And I was in 6th grade. And I was telling you about that horizon. And my Jenny Barker... we were the Jenny Barker Bobcats, by the way, and the Jenny Barker School out in the middle of the country. Beautiful, beautiful place. Because it was all surrounded by wheat fields. And we were on the playground, and me and my little friends were out in the big, they're like these, like pipes made of concrete that you would use as a irrigation type ditch. But they probably a cheap way of providing equipment on the playground. They put it on top of the ground and let us play in it. And we were in there playing and singing and doing our nonviolent, quiet stuff. And this bully came over, a girl came over. She was in 5th grade, I was in 6th. But a lot of the kids I was with were in the low grades, like kindergarten, 2nd grade, stuff like that. And she said, get out of those, we're gonna come in. And she had a bunch of like bigger kids with her, and I'm like, no, we're not leaving. And she left, and I'm like, cool, we can play. Hey, oh yeah, And then I decided to look out the, the little end of the pipe. And I looked out there, and there she and all of her gang were holding big old huge rocks and starting to hurl them at us. We ran, and they got the playground. Okay, because the nonviolent folks, yeah, what am I going to do? Get bashed upside the head with a rock to prove that I deserve to play in the, on the playground equipment? So I decided to give that up and run away. And, because I was like, man, that's a formidable enemy. So then pretty soon I started hearing that I got a new neighbor. We lived on the highway. Not on the highway. I always say we lived on the highway, but not literally, people. That would last about like 5 seconds. But the highway, Highway 50, ran right in front of our property. And no, we weren't farmers. We were way too poor to be farmers. The farmers were the rich ones compared to us. We were poor folk. And down the way of the highway, some new people had moved in. And I heard that there was a girl my age who moved in there, and I'm like, excited, because when you live on the highway, you don't have a whole lot of friends. And so I was thrilled about meeting this new friend, and then I found out who she was. She was the bully who came over and threw all the rocks at us. And so I said, well, I've got two choices here. I can keep this person as my enemy, or I can go and make her my friend. And I was in dire need of friends at the time. So I went over to her house and befriended her, and she's my friend still to this day. And her name is Wendy Johnson. Her name then was Wendy Romsberg. But she's my friend to this day, and she's my dearest and best friend, and she would die for me. She loves me so much that she would die for me if I needed her to. And of course, so anyway, like my son Jeff Gooch likes to say, oh, he quotes somebody else on this, but it's, if you have made your enemy into a friend, have you not defeated your enemy? And that's part of what this here clip's about, because I gotta tell you guys, losing Liam Lockhart, whether or not he ever comes back and he argues, I'm done with SFCC, let me move on. Let me tell you this, Liam Lockhart and Linda Siegel, that whenever anybody in any of the film classes that I'm in mentions Liam's name, students cry because they miss him. I'm mad at him for leaving this school and abandoning this school. We need him here. And I don't care what they gave him over at SFUAD. He should have stayed here and fought for what was rightfully his, a full-time position serving the students directly, not in an administrative role over somewhere else at a different damn school. Yeah, I'm sure he's still teaching, but even if he doesn't feel the loyalty to us, we feel that loyalty to him. And you guys need to get in a dialogue with Liam Lockhart and see if you can get him back to this school. He's going to be teaching one class here, and I'll guarantee you, I'm going to see him. And not only that, you need to make sure you're not dragging administrators off this campus and silencing them and costing the college more hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars doing stupid things that don't even respect people's humanity. Okay? There are ways to solve problems. That's all I've been trying to say all along. And you know what? In that letter, I point blank out Scott Whitaker, head of the financial aid department, because I've been in that department so long, getting the runaround, ending up losing classes, ending up losing money, ending up in my car, ending up losing even emergency funds. And my husband recently had to pay the school money back because of their mistake. He went in and asked them beforehand. I've made many complaints against the workers up front, against those dudes. Actually, they tend to be chicks, but not knowing what the hell they're talking about. Okay, they don't know, they're not highly trained, they're not trained well enough, they don't know the answers, they're affecting students' finances. They should be treated with not only a hell of a lot of respect and sensitivity, because I'm a homeless student going in there and occasionally being reprimanded that I didn't do things in their way in a timely manner. And I'm like, yo, I live in my car. Can you not get that some of us have a hardship with doing these things? Do we have to be like treated like crap when we come in to try to get our money? Or can you go out of your way to help us? I went in and stood up for another homeless student, and in the disability office too, because he had a dog that we were trying to get as a service animal. This dog protected him. He lived on the streets, and this dog was his protector. If that's not qualification for a service animal, there isn't one. A disabled student. What did they do? They encouraged that student to drop out of school, to give up, and that was on a Friday, and by Monday, when I found out about it, he was gone. That broke my heart. I called the school and I was angry. I left a couple messages saying, you guys don't even try to keep me out of your offices, because I will barge in there. And I meant that. That is not violent, that is persistent. Nobody's gonna see me if I don't go in there. They will do anything they can not to talk to me. So I wrote out a wonderful letter. Yeah, probably a scary one for them in the sense of holding their feet to the fire, holding them accountable to the job that they're getting paid to do. And when I went to present that letter in the disability office, the director, who I think's name is Vaughn, but she's very forgettable, I'll put it like that. She intercepted me and forced me, I didn't resist, but forced me to go through a back elevator up to Jill Douglas's office to talk to Jill Douglas about my conduct. It's like, dudes, you're the ones who need to be held accountable for your conduct, and that's what I'm doing. So, anyway, all these complaints and all this stuff, I ended up getting all these written warnings against me for doing nothing but doing the right thing. Maybe getting a little excited about it at times. And being misunderstood all along the way, because look at me, come on, people misunderstand this. But I know you understand it, Linda. That's why I'm responding to you in your way. Silly, but I like silly. So maybe you're my friend. Maybe you'll take those rocks and put them down and start listening for the betterment of everybody at that college. How many letters can I write? How many times can I stand up in front of a large group of students and say, I've got the biggest balls on this campus, before things will change? I'm a performer. I'm a comedian. I'm a brilliant genius. I'm an intellect. I'm a professional. I can do it all. I will approach you guys in any way that I can get you to listen to me. I think sometimes all you want is my attention. I always think, oh, I'm trying to get their attention, but I think it's the other way around. You guys are trying to get mine. You should allow students like me and my husband, and maybe it's part of the policy, to attend a board meeting and, let's say, lend us your ears for a while. And let us tell you what it's really like to be a student at this college. We know other people who live in their cars. We know other people who, I don't know if I know somebody who at least so far this semester lived in a homeless shelter for a while. A lot of people who are living in very vulnerable housing. People who meet all the definitions of underrepresented students. We need to keep those students. We need to provide for them. We have gotten in trouble for filling up our frickin' water jugs at the fitness center. Really? You guys are gonna keep students who live in their car from having water? I mean, it's absurd. We've been told, you can't walk off the sidewalk over here. It's like, really? What are you afraid of? We're gonna step on a mine? I don't understand it. It's absurd. And at this point, even the security guards, because they know we've stood up for David Lee, who is now gone, best security guard who ever stepped foot on this campus. He could have been running the place, but I wouldn't want to be him to be promoted at the expense of anybody else or nothing like that. I'm not all about that. I'm not trying to take things from people. I'm trying to give things to people. But anyway, the security guards know we're fighting for their rights. Nobody wants to have to go and have somebody like me pulled off a campus. Nobody wants that to happen. So you guys who are making those decisions, and you can say it was Jill Douglas acting on her own. No, she wasn't. Even if nobody told her to do it, she was not acting on her own. She was acting on behalf of the board of directors, what she believed that they would want. She herself is a disabled employee, and you guys had her stuffed in the damn closet downstairs until I spoke out against you, and then she got her job, her office miraculously back. I've brought her flowers. We've done a puppet show for President Randy. We've given him cake, people. That's nonviolent. That's not violence. There wasn't anything like razor blades in the cake or anything like that. It was cake, and I hope it was delicious cake. I'm sure it was. My husband made it. It's a skillet cake. You should check out our website, and not our website, our Land of Tranquil Light YouTube channel, and maybe you'll find some good recipes for yourselves. And then I told the president that he should take a bubble bath, and everybody acted like I was like some pervert. Jeez, I'm saying relax, dude. Take a chill pill. Oh, now you're encouraging him to take drugs. No, I'm encouraging him to take a damn break. And I'm encouraging you guys to support him. And everybody else on this campus. Nobody needs to be fired except for maybe the 2 board members who had Dr. Guzman fired. Maybe you, Linda, and the other one, Kathy, should be fired. But short of that, nobody else on this campus needs to be fired. We need to get Chris Abeda back. We need to get the people who protested that move back. They care about the college. And you may think, oh, she was too aggressive. She was firing too many people. And maybe she was. Maybe she needed to take it slower. I personally am not trying to fire anybody. I don't even have the power to do that. I've asked people, please don't do that. That's what I was going to say. You try to fire Scott Whitaker, and you're going to have to come through me too, because I'm telling you, Scott Whitaker is an excellent financial aid director. He's the best. That's what I was going to say. I've attended 6 colleges and universities. I've worked in another university in the financial aid department. I've never met a better financial aid director, but some serious changes have to be made. You guys have to support him financially and get him some support, some human resources that really know what they're doing, instead of some kid that has to go out and do the dirty work and doesn't even know the answers, okay? Or an employee who doesn't know the answers, and all these, and I've had them literally hiding in their offices from me, and I had to barge in on one of them. But anyway, I've tried to barge in on several of them, but a lot of times I give them a warning, so they've got people waiting to drag me into because and talk to the higher ups because I'm such a criminal for standing up for what's right. Since when? Oh, well, I guess it's always been a crime. Socrates, he had to drink hemlock because he would not compromise. We all know what happened to Gandhi. Jesus, oh my goodness, man, they went to great lengths to silence that dude, and they made a display out of it. Martin Luther King Jr. got it. He knew that was coming. But Nichiren Daishonin didn't. And I am of the same mind and heart as Nichiren Daishonin. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. I'm here to create change, positive change for this campus. You ought to have some faith in me. You ought to be lucky if I side with you, if you ever win me over, because I'm trying to win you over to my side. Because if I win you over to my side, everybody on this campus is going to win. I don't know the solutions to all of the problems here, but I do know one of them. Students, if they don't start coming first, this campus is just going to die out. Students have to be treated like the most valuable entities on this campus because they are. You board members are expendable. The administrators can go. But if the students are gone, we don't have a college. And they're being turned away at financial aid. They're being turned away in the disability office. God knows where else. I don't know. I've had accusations of misogyny against various instructors. Meaning the instructors, the accusations were against them, that they were being misogynistic towards female students, and I've experienced it myself. I also discrimination against people of color, discrimination of people of a certain age group. Those are all federally protected groups, and that's happening, and I'm getting those reports. Okay. You guys can say, oh, it didn't happen. No, it didn't happen. The students are going out of their way to come and tell Jodi this stuff, even though it's not true. But your job is to take it seriously and to start to educate the people on campus to how to relate to the students. And that's all I'm trying to do, is make you aware of that fact. Oh, God. I just repeat myself all the time. I've been retaliated against, retaliated against for making these complaints. I'm protected by the policies of the student manual against that shit. I've asked for a mediation. They never gave me one. Instead, they wrote me up as potentially violent and all this stuff and won't allow me to walk in the film department. I belong teaching in the film department, you guys. I have 2 degrees from SFCC, one in gallery management, and yeah, I made a bunch of complaints over there because that gallery should be for students, not for these outside artists. Now, I know we want to bring outside people in, stuff like that, but we've got to find a way to marry that, because students are being relegated to little back rooms, and I can't stand that stuff. We've got really talented students that should be a part of the Santa Fe Literary Review, and I don't mean one every once in a while. I mean regularly. It's a part of the Santa Fe Literary Review, or a student version of it. Come on, we can do this. And the gallery, it shouldn't just be for these outside artists who are already successful. We need to make our own students successful, give them a chance to build up their resumes. How to do it in detail, that's for you all to work out. I'm giving you the ideas. We need a place for homeless students to live. One time, we had the audacity to ask Jill Douglas if we could park our van here and live here if we cleaned up trash. Never heard back. But there's another important aspect of this. I'm being given lower grades than I deserve on this campus. I received an A- from Diane Armitage in the History of Women Artists class. I deserved that A-. I was also given an A- in an art law class that I did not deserve. I was the only woman in that class who refused to show my cleavage, and I got an A-. I also spoke out for justice in that class, and it was not received well. In Monica Nair's class, she docked me down for work that was superior, not inferior, and gave me an A-. And in Scotty Milder's class, I could teach that class. And the reason he a C on my final, when he told me that I had created a new genre of art, and we have it on film, by the way, he made up an illegitimate excuse for why I received a C on that screenplay. I don't get C's. I may get them this semester because I'm fighting this battle instead of being able to do my homework and attend to the things I need to attend to, and I'm living in my car, and pretty soon I'll have more problems. I won't tell you about them because, boy, oh boy, I already got your attention, but, so I'm dealing with all of that instead of being able to do my Photoshop 2 homework. But I don't get C's, and in fact, what I wrote was so superior, he gave me a C. That's wrong. And I told Margaret Peters that at this school, mediocrity is rewarded and excellence is being punished. And I still got an A- on my transcripts for that. Not only that, when I started perusing the student manual handbook a little bit, I found out that all of these written warnings that Jill Douglas said, oh, why are you worried about it? It's just going to go in my file. No one else is going to see it. Can actually be marked on my transcripts. I am very, very, very anal retentive and OCD about my transcripts. And if you guys do that, you're straight up committing an evil act. Because none of it is true. Okay, I deserve the grades that I deserve. the A minus in Diane Armitage's class and A's in the every other class I've taken here, and I deserve highest honors because I've seen that my name has sometimes had highest honors and sometimes have high honors. I deserve highest honors. So whatever's on my transcript, it needs to be highest honors for both of my degrees. And for another thing, how can Scotty Milder give a student who has a Master's of Arts degree, Fine Arts degree in creative writing, in poetry, it took me 4 years to get, with distinction and high pass, and I take his class 4 times. One of them I didn't get credit for because financial aid didn't cover it, but they let me Scotty let me attend the class anyway. I did all the homework, got straight A's and all of that stuff. And it's not on my transcripts, but that A minus is. So what I'm trying to say is, how can somebody go through his class 4 times, have such a high level of writing, and I've been an English teacher, come on, and then he's going to argue I deserve an A minus? That just looks bad on him. And then Camilla Bustamante wrote back, policy, okay, and said, no, it shows by the rubric that you deserve an A minus. And I said, did you read the screenplay? So I ran into her in the bathroom, and in the bathroom I told her, I have a Master's of Fine Arts degree. I deserve an A in that class. So I appealed to Margaret Peters in writing. And then I had already been having a conversation with Margaret Peters via email about this because I thought she could vouch for me if it came down to it. Lo and behold, she was the one I was supposed to appeal to, so I did. I never heard back. I might have an A on my transcripts. I'm not looking. If I look and there's an A minus there, I'm going to get angry. And I'm tired of being angry at you guys. It takes a lot of my energy. And so I'm just waiting for an actual real response, due process, the way that you're required by law to follow through on financial aid requests, on contested grades requests. And by the way, I told that to Jill Douglas, and she said, well, we support our instructors. And I said, then why do you have a policy to allow students to appeal their grades, to contest their grades? Come on! You guys don't take any of this seriously. You just kind of like stack all the cards on your side and then leave the students flailing. These students need to be seriously prepared for their future here. They need to learn the college system. They need to be supported in that system. They need to be hugged when they walk in the front door by one of our administrators. The administrators rarely even make an appearance outside their door. They're afraid a student's going to talk to them. So come out, start to interact with the students, start to get to know us. We're cool. You're missing out on the coolest part of the college by hanging around with all the boring people who only quote policies and procedures when it's to their benefit and forget them whenever it's not. I'm being a clown because you know what? You need a clown. You apparently are approaching me as a court jester. You're the court. I'm the jester. Okay? So I'm trying to approach you in a way that maybe you'll hear. I have talked to President Randy. I have talked to each one of you individually in a different way, trying to get each of you to hear me. And all of you seems to like twist what I say into something that's absurd. Put me up for a written warning, another written warning, another written warning. You can't come on campus. What crime did I commit? You have committed no crime. Well, then guess what? I'm allowed on this campus, but I still left out of respect. I try to be respectful. I try to be respectful of the process, especially if I'm being persecuted. If I don't allow you guys to persecute me, then I have no record of being persecuted. I've talked to my lawyer. My lawyer has told me I have grounds to sue you guys and that I can threaten to sue you all I want. He said that I can take a bullhorn here to the college and stand in the middle of the college and start talking. You guys have no recourse against that. I have a federally protected right to freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. No, freedom of speech, dudes. I can say anything. You guys can get mad at what I say, but I can still say it. I can say to Monica Nair, I made a complaint against you guys. And she can go crazy and call the security, but she has no grounds for that. I no longer can step foot in the film department without being accused of harassment, potentially. And I was never harassing anyone. I was making legitimate complaints against the instructors and against the department. And I still have the same complaints. Jill Douglas said, well, are you willing to give this up? And I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to give it up. Until I go into financial aid again, and I'm being told I have no access and for no reason that they have in paper or writing or anything, that I no longer have access to my own student loans. Then it's like, guess what? I feel discriminated against, and until you guys can prove in writing I'm not being discriminated against, and until you guys can somehow negate all the stuff that's happened along the way, the retaliation, my grades, and my banishment from campus, then it's the truth. So I'm stepping on something here. You guys need to look at that money and stop misusing it. I think there's a practice of misuse of funds all over this campus and probably off the campus too. Probably going up high, you know. I'm probably tapping into some highly powerful people who don't like me messing with their pocketbooks and saying, you got too much money. You've got your wallet looks a little too thick. And you know what? I'm tired of it. The funds are for the students. The facilities are for the students. The resources are for the students. I love the students. I love the administrators. I love the teachers. I love the instructors. I love the board, the members of the board, even though I don't even know you. And I want what's best for SFCC, okay? And the students are what's best for SFCC. Supporting the teachers we have and getting back the excellent teachers who have left because they're being treated in a stupid, bad way. And promoting people who deserve promotions. You'll say, oh, but the budget. What? You guys are absurd. Where are you spending that money, dudes? I know that half the time when I go into the bathroom, there's no soap in the dispensers and no paper towels. You're certainly not wasting it on paper towels. And I already got a great idea for dealing with the paper towel thing. We go to Wendy's and McDonald's and we take out stacks of napkins to use. If all the administrators, all of the board, all of the instructors, all of the maintenance workers, and all the students did that, we'd have plenty of paper towels now, wouldn't we? It's a joke, dudes. It's a joke. No, we need paper towels. We need soap. We need hand sanitizer so we don't give these colds to one another. We need all the things on the front line where people who come into the college need, where they're going to witness whether or not we have funds. We don't need to give away the poverty consciousness. In other words, you guys might look at me and not be able to tell at all that I'm homeless. That's what I'm always shooting for. But if something betrays me, like I have dirty shoes or I have these dirty gloves or my coat hasn't been washed in 3 months, then it might give it away. And when I'm talking to a VIP or one of you guys might say, oh, she may not be a legitimate or a credible person to talk to because she doesn't look the part. For one thing, with me, you've got to understand that I'm credible because I don't look the part in some ways. But for you guys, you better keep that soap filled and the paper towels filled, because more than one person has said, oh my gosh, they're cutting back the funds. The other thing is, we need to keep it clean, and it's quite clean. And I love the maintenance workers here. But the other thing is, we need to start thinking seriously about providing a parking lot for students who live in their cars, students and teachers who live in their cars, and start thinking about providing long-term housing for homeless students, affordable housing for students and instructors here. We are not your traditional community college. You got students who are going hungry and getting cold because they are living on the streets or in their cars. We need to think about these things. We need to seriously consider the students' perspectives. We need to abide when our financial aid workers are talking to the students. They need to be aware of the demographics they're dealing with. And definitely Santa Fe is a unique demographic. So there I have had my say again, because I will always have my say. And I am being like this because I like to be funny.
and I am very influenced by Tony Curtis. Not Tony Curtis. Tony Clifton. Andy Kaufman. You need to start doing some things differently around here. You need to start doing some things differently around here. Linda Siegel, you need to start making some better decisions than that. You're going to have a lot of problems if you don't start making some better decisions than that.
I've been smoking too much. I'm serious about these issues, but I'm a frickin' court jester. Take it for what you want, interpret it how you frickin' want, but I hope you're going to start doing the right thing, because otherwise you're not going to have a college or a student body to exploit anyway. So you might as well stop exploiting the students before it becomes such a big mess that the feds do have to come in. I mean, we could lose our accreditation. I mean, this is serious stuff. Losing our money is serious enough. And the students might get behind me, and the teachers might get behind me, and the administrators might get behind me. And then how much power do you guys have at all? None whatsoever. You're just going to look like a bunch of monkeys sitting behind fancy boardrooms. And why would you do that to yourselves? Of course, I probably look a bit like a monkey right now, but I don't care as long as you hear me.
You need to fix these things around here. You need to solve these problems around here. Students need to be respected around here. You should come out of your office every once in a while and give a student a damn hug. Ask them how they're doing. Then you wouldn't have to worry about possible shooters coming in this campus, because everybody would feel loved and safe and warm, and they'd be fed and they wouldn't be rejected.
It makes me sad to think that anyone on this campus is suffering because of the bad decisions you guys are making. I hope you'll stop that shit. But either way, I'm going to be speaking my mind until the day I choose to stop if you guys keep making bad decisions. I've got my friend Randy Grissom's back, and I've got my friend Scott Whitaker's back, and I've got everybody in the film department's back, and they can be glad. Because if I were a vengeful person, they could have all potentially lost their jobs. But instead, the best teacher in the whole damn world lost his. At least from here. There is no justice in that. I want justice. I love justice. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I bow to your Buddha natures. In gratitude, I'm appealing to your Buddha natures. Your highest self. Well, I can't wait to hear the feedback from this one. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.